Good afternoon, everyone. I'll give it just a little bit of time for some people to tune in. It's our 2000 live feed Sunday night. It's not as cold as last week, thankfully, because last week was pretty cold at this time. Alright, so we'll get to this soon. Firstly, I'd like to thank everyone who's tuning in, and I would like to thank anybody who is watching this on the replay. I do appreciate you joining in, and I do hope you're finding some benefit from these videos. So we'll get into this in a moment. We'll give it about a minute. Alright, so we'll get into it now. So what we are looking at today is the use of force continuum, or the use of force continuum scale, which is basically a scale that moves up in the level of force and gives you an indication of the type of force you're using. There are other scales that go alongside it that give you an idea of when to use the force as well. So in the use of force continuum, what you have is it starts at presence, moves up to communication, then you have soft empty hand, hard empty hand, soft intermediate weapon, hard intermediate weapon, and that'll lead into potential lethal force, So we'll break that down, we'll have a look at everything here. So first off, what you've got is presence. When 85% of your communication is non-verbal, it's body language. So presence can have quite a big impact alone. So what you want to do in the present stage of the use of force continuum is you're basically evaluating a situation, you're maintaining a safety zone, you're keeping a safe distance, you're watching, you're just there, you're not verbally communicating. You may be cordoning, containing an area. So it may be something's happening and you're just watching. You're just keeping distance. If there is an incident and you're doing presence alone, please, if you're not helping and not involved, don't get in the way. Don't be a presence in the way. Don't be there with your phone like, oh, this is going to go viral, YouTube. No, don't. Get out the way. If you're not helping, if you're not doing anything, remove your presence. So that's basically what presence is. You are just there. Someone may look dodgy. You may feel something's going to happen. You may just stand there and be watching. You may even pick your phone, take a quick note. Let them see that. But basically, it is just presence. It's the presence alone you are hoping is going to stem any issue before there is even an issue. Moving up in the scale with the use of force continuum, you're looking at communication. What you want here is non-aggressive language. What you're going to be using is persuasion to comply, de-escalation phrases, and compliance commands if need be. So you're looking for win-win situations. You're looking to negotiate with the person, to empathise. You're trying to look for a way for you and them out of a situation, and you're trying to do it so that the other person can save face. So you're not yelling, you're not swearing, you're not name-calling, you're not making accusations at people, you're not pointing fingers. You're looking for ways to de-escalate the situation still. So you're still looking very low level here. Someone might be puffing their chest out, yelling, screaming, sir, please, stay back. Sir, please, I'm feeling threatened at the moment. Can you please, look, what I need you to do is please take your hands out your pockets. It makes me nervous. You're looking for solutions at this stage as well. So, saying, look, sir, I don't want any trouble. We don't need any trouble. We don't have to do this, do we? Okay, so for instance, you've slipped into a car park, you've not seen someone else wanted it, they're beeping their horn, they've got out. Sir, please, stay back. I understand, I apologise, I didn't see that you were there. Look, I'm having a really bad day. I just wasn't paying attention. I apologise. And offer solutions to fix the problem. Look, I'll move from the car park. It's not a big issue for me. So that's where you're sitting at in the use of force continuum scale with communication. Next, you're looking, it ups the ante a bit, and you're looking at the soft empty hand. So this is a passive counter. You're looking at passive countermeasures, non-aggressive use of force here. So here you will or possibly can be or will be touching people. Yeah, but you're looking at open hand, gentle stuff. So gentle pushes, and gentle pushes maybe you put your hand on them and step back. So you're not shoving hard. It may be a gentle hand on the shoulder. They may have their hand up like this at you, and you may just gently move it out the way. Here, especially I do this a lot in security, you may be guiding and shepherding people. So you may even be slipping hands around waistlines and just gentle guidance, gentle pushes, gentle like hands on the shoulder and pointing to move someone. So this is very non-aggressive. You're gently touching, you're gently moving, you're not hurting the person at all. But next, and we'll get into this a bit more at another time, but you're looking more for these countermeasures is when someone's passively non-compliant or they're getting in your face, but you're just still trying to de-escalate. Next in the use of force continuum, you are looking at hard empty hand. And here's where we're going to start. So we're looking at now the subject you're dealing with or the person you're dealing with is non-compliant and assaultative. Okay, so they're spitting, hitting, kicking, pushing, whatever. You're up to the point now you're forced to act. So now you're looking at active countermeasures. So you're looking at aggressive application of force. What we're looking at here is you're actively now defending yourself. So blocks. So you're inside defenses, pushing punches away, or your outside defenses, like that. So you're looking to stop being struck yourself. And here you're looking at what you'll be replying with is punches, hammer fists, elbows, kicks. So you'll be actively punching, actively hitting, elbowing, kneeing, kicking. You're really starting to look at that now. And in this point, you may clinch up. You're looking at joint locks. So if you've caught an arm, you're wrapping it up, you're locking into joints. You're looking at restraining the person. So takedowns. So if you're in a clinch, you may grab the head, be throwing them down, grabbing shoulders and ripping them down, or you're down, takedowns into the hips. You're now looking at this end, takedowns, restraints, joint locks, actively hitting into the person to stop the threat towards you. So next up in the use of force continuum scale, we're looking at soft intermediate weapon. So this, in security purposes, we're talking mainly about battens. So this is placing hands on the baton, wearing a baton, even pulling the baton out and drawing it, presenting it or loading it. For normal civilians, we could be talking anything here. Umbrellas, for instance, for all intents and purposes, are just as good as a baton in many ways. So you may be holding the umbrella up or holding it like this, presenting it like, and again, through all of this, you are always using communication. So even if at soft intermediate weapon, stay back. If they go to assault you and you may just block. It could be a book, a laptop, a bag. I'm very fond of tactical pens. You may present and draw that. Stay back, please, stay back. Okay, and you may be saying, please, sir, put your weapon down. Put down what you're holding. Put down the bats. Please, sir, stay back. Look, I don't want any trouble. We want to move away. We don't need this, do we? So you still always communicate. But now, you're loading up, you're getting ready. From here, it moves into hard intermediate weapon. Now you're looking at so if that's a baton, boom, boom, you're striking. If it's the tactical pen, that. If it's a book or something, boom. If it's the umbrella, it's bang or bang. You're striking with the weapon now. Now, this really could be anything. I mean, for instance, you've got to an altercation, you've gone for the takedown, you've both ended up on the ground. This could even be now a weapon of opportunity. A weapon of opportunity being something you just find on the ground. You're on the ground, boom, you cop a punch, and you just grab whatever's next to you. It's a rock or whatever it is, a stick. It's just boom. That's where we're at. And finally, on the use of force continuum, at the very pointy end, potential lethal force. We say potential because you're not looking to kill someone, okay? So it's all about the humanity, compassion. You don't want to be killing someone for the sake of killing someone. Your aim isn't to kill them. Your aim is to stop a real and impending threat to life. Now, for security, armed security, this is where you're talking about wearing a firearm would be considered these days potential lethal force. Certainly, if you draw, present, and aim it, that is potential lethal force now. Okay, if you fire it, definitely. You're aiming for centre mass. For civilian use, I mean, you could be talking now, if you have a home invasion in your house, it may be you end up with the knife from the kitchen. Boom. And just to be aware, what constitutes as potential lethal force on your person. It's not enough to say, oh, look, I felt through a knife out. You need to justify it is potentially a real and impending threat to your life. But there are multiple things that could be. I mean, for instance, multiple attackers definitely it can be a real and impending threat to life. You're outnumbered, you're outgunned. It's not just if the other person draws a weapon. Keep in mind too, many people have died from the one-punch coward punch, just boom. So that is potential lethal force itself. Certainly, if the person hasn't drawn a weapon, but they're pummeling you. Next thing, there's hands on your throat and you're being choked out or strangled. That is a real and impending threat to your life now. So if you were say a home invasion, someone's got you and they're strangling you and you've reached around, grabbed the kitchen knife, it's gone bang. That would be considered a use of force on the use of force continuum, quite appropriate, because you're now at the really pointy end. A big thing to note with the use of force continuum scale, or the use of force, is you can move up and down the scale, and you don't have to start at presence, and you don't have to work in order of the scale. So you don't have to go, oh, well, I'm here. Okay, well, I've got to move to communication. I've got to move to, soft, empty hand. And no. It will be dictated by the attacker and the situation you're in. So you can go from presence, like what's happening, and they may just rush in with you with a knife out of nowhere. You're like, shit, okay, well, boom. Or if you're armed, straight in, like, so you can jump from 0 to 100 like that. And it really depends on the situation there. So when you look at the use of force continuum scale, don't get in your head that you have to follow steps to justify your use of force. It can scale up and down, and it may skip steps. It may go potentially from presence or presence to communication to potential lethal force, and then you may go from potential lethal force. You've done what you've had to do. You've looked around. The person's down. They've dropped their weapon. The real and impending threat to life has ceased. The offence is no longer happening. You may reholster and then move to, say, hard field hand, restraining the person, and then applying first aid. So the use of force continuum scale really is a guide to give you an idea of what you're using and how you're using it. So next week, what we will do this time next week is we're going to tie together the stuff from last week with the Victorian Crimes Act 1958, Section 462A, which is the use of force. We're going to tie that in with the use of force continuum scale and how the use of force continuum works, and why you would use the sections of the use of force continuum that you're using, and how you're going to justify what you're using and why you're using it, and how that would work lawfully, and how you're using it and how you justify it. Look, I hope you've found some benefit this video. I hope you've taken something away from it. As always, any questions or anything, just shoot them through in the comments. I will be more than happy to answer. Until next time, please look after yourselves, look after each other, stay safe. Thank you for watching.